So today I want to talk about creating your own grooves. Creating your own grooves can be a great way to develop coordination and also flow around the drum set. Creating grooves is honestly like one of my favorite things to do because it's not only just super fun, but you also get a really good practice out of it. Now for this video, it probably will just be a linear groove that I'm going over. And I'm not actually going to show you the groove itself, but more how I just came up with the groove on my own. I'll also be posting a video soon on how to play the groove that I was playing at the beginning of this video and the one that I'm about to show you in just a minute. But yeah, so enough talking, let's get drumming. Alright, so I know you saw the groove at the beginning, but I'm going to play it again quickly just so you remember, or if you skip that, just so you know what it is. What's great about this is there's a lot of options and ways I can use it. It doesn't just have to be a groove. I can use it as sort of like a fill or like a transition into a new part. And I'll show you what I mean. I'm just going to play a simple rocky funk beat and use it into, well, I guess we'll see what I use it into. So yeah, right there I used it as just a quick transition, almost like a fill, and it gives it an obvious sound that you're changing once you hit that crash into the next part. A good place to use that would be like if you're going from a verse into a chorus. Obviously some songs it's a bit too complex, but I just think it's really cool that you can create a groove and then not only did you just make a groove, but you can use that as a fill. And even further, I'm going to show you an actual fill that you can play using that same type of groove. So I created this groove by using things that are familiar to me. Like for instance, at the start of this groove, it is a right hand on the hi-hat and then two ghost notes on the snare. And that's a very familiar thing for me and to many drummers. I use that a lot in fills like. So for some reason I'm just so used to that, so I brought it to the hi-hat and that's just how the groove started. I didn't plan on it, it just kind of happened. That's what's really cool about making grooves is you literally start with nothing and it's all up to you to make the groove. But that can also be the challenging and discouraging part because it can be very frustrating because you don't really know where it's going. The sticking and note placement is exactly the same in the fill that I just played as it is in the original beat. So again, this is a great way to develop flow and chops around the drum set, but it's also just a lot of fun. I want to encourage you guys to get on the kit and try and write your own grooves. They don't have to be linear. I would say it's definitely easier to create a linear groove because if you're creating a basic groove, there's a lot that have already been made. I mean, there's a lot of linear grooves that have also been made too, but to me, in my head, it makes a lot more sense to start from note to note and be able to build a linear groove than it does a basic groove. I do want to leave you guys with the structure for how I created this. So I'm going to give you sort of like a 4-part plan, I guess. So I would say number 1 is to start with the mindset that you need 16 notes. Now again, this is for linear groove making only. You want to have 16 notes total, with the exception of maybe a couple where you're hitting 2 at the same time like I was in the groove I showed you. So that's number 1, 16 notes goal. Number 2 is to choose familiar rudiments or familiar patterns. Now I already mentioned that I used a couple in there, and that really just makes it easier to come up with the groove, but it also makes it easier to apply it since you're already used to using those things. Now if you really want to go outside of the box, you could come up with your own new sort of patterns, but I imagine that would be pretty hard considering you don't already know the patterns. For number 3, we have trying out new stickings and patterns or note placements. This can be different accents, deciding where you want the kicks, the snare, and the hi-hat, and I definitely encourage trying to think about that before actually writing the groove, because starting completely from scratch with no plan is going to be tough. So like I knew sort of where I wanted the beat to go, and that's how it developed over time. So yeah, I definitely think that's important. And number 4 is to just be patient, because it can be discouraging. Starting completely from scratch is tough. I specifically remember making the beat. It took maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours. And it might take longer, it might take way shorter for some of you, depending on the motivation, your mood at the time. But seriously, just stay patient, because it can be frustrating, but if you keep pushing through that, you're going to come out with a great groove that you can apply around the drum set and can hold on to for times to come. So seriously, just be patient and get to work. Okay, so that is pretty much going to be the end of this video. That is basically how I go about creating my own grooves, specifically linear grooves in this video. But I did a quick YouTube search, and I actually noticed that there aren't really a lot of videos on creating your own grooves. There's more about creating your own beats and digital audio workshops. There is some videos on creating parts for songs, but there was none about specifically really creating your own linear grooves or grooves themselves, which I think is a crazy important thing, and I'm shocked there's none on YouTube. So I'm actually thinking about doing a short series on creating your own grooves, or creating grooves just in general. But if you guys would like to see stuff like that in the future, then please let me know. If you guys enjoyed watching, then please smash the subscribe button, smash the like. No, in all seriousness, please like, comment, and subscribe if you truly did enjoy the video. And seriously, give me any feedback, because I'm brand new to this, so any feedback will help along the way. So yeah, again, thank you guys so much. I think I said that like 4 times, but seriously, thank you. And I'll see you guys in the next one.